Yeah. Yeah.
We can't get to be private.
Playing.
Listen, we have no idea what's playing. He just sitting here listening. We're like, what the hell's going on? What the fuck?
I was not in my head. I was like, I hope I'm on beat.
I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm never on beat to begin with, but I'm like, shit. All right, let's just keep going. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing this shit. I can do that. We've raised the roof. In this
Everybody
bitch.
in the 202, put your hands in the air, cause back show this through. I know you feel like trying to go, but you steal my gum right now. So
Hey. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Hey,
What happened?
what's up, y'all?
Yo.
My first time on a high ed pod. This
Hi.
is crazy.
What's going on, guys? What?
Just watch the table business tape.
It's a little bit wobbly.
Gotcha.
Got you.
Hey man, we trying to record over here. Like we already pressed the button.
Yeah, Cliff, you
Don't-
don't drop in again.
Cliff, just so you know, no, don't cut it.
No, we
I mean,
good.
we just look at a lot of this.
Leave this on the top. I
Let
love
it
it.
happen.
So, what's going on, guys? My name's Cliff, and this is Higher Education's podcast. We're on location right now, if we can call this on location. We're at the beach.
Hey,
Because no days off, right? So we here, we still putting in that work. So today, I'm joined by two amazing fellas. I usually do some heartwarming shit like that, but I usually don't trip over my words.
That's
You
all
guys want
good.
to introduce yourselves?
My name is Josh. People usually call me Goose. I've been friends with Cliff since we were in high school, done a lot of things together, and I'm really happy to be on here.
Hey.
I'm Manny. Known both these guys forever. One could say the word decade, but we're not going to go there.
Oh,
I'm not
it's
that
a-
old.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah. Those are some actual introductions. Usually people just come on this show and they're like, "Hi, I'm Brian," or "Hi, I'm Ben." Like, can you guys speak up?
Yeah,
Why are you
speak
here?
up. Come on now.
Oh my god.
Please be comfortable.
Yeah, for real.
So we're at the beach today because we're drafting tomorrow, like 1 o'clock. So fantasy football starts up, and we're all excited for that.
Best time of the year.
I know, like 3 years ago, you guys adopted me into your fantasy football league. I've been trying to give you all the works, but I've been sitting around the middle pack. But I'm getting there.
I don't know how much I like middle pack. You know, you got top 5 picks.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't want to.
Hey, listen.
I don't want to. You know.
Hey, man.
Listen.
You do you. That's all I'm going to
Let
say.
me keep what little dignity I have left. Okay.
Hey, go for it. You do what you got to do.
But yeah, so I've only been in it for 3 years. So my question for you guys is really like, what was the origin of your fantasy football team?
I'll let him start.
So actually, I decided to do it. It was the last great year of the Brady, Welker, Gronk triplet going.
Oh, yeah.
That was our first year.
Gotta give the Patriots some love because of him, so.
And so I remember that season we started off and we did a straight draft, so it wasn't snake.
Oh,
So
okay.
I ended up with Brady, Welker, and Gronk.
That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
My team was absolutely awful that year.
So my top, and we only had 5 people, so we had a 6-person league, but we had 5 people, so I had 2 teams.
I was gonna say, was there a robot or was
No, it was him. It was Manny.
So the 6th team was drafted to intentionally be shitty and was not managed throughout the season.
And guess what? They
And
won.
That's the team that won the championship.
They
our
won.
first
Is
year.
that the team with like
Yeah,
Brady,
so-
Walker? And...
No.
No, so my team went undefeated the whole year until playoffs,
Mhm.
and then lost to my B team
Wow.
that had no talent on it because the Patriots that year were so good, they benched their starters in week 17.
Yep.
And so I beat myself with my worst team.
That I guess that's like I won, but I don't want to win like this. Like I won the.
It was a little backwards. I'm not gonna lie. It was
I
a
don't
little
understand how it
backwards.
happens.
Were you both a part of it at this point?
Yes,
Like,
we
the 5
were.
people. Who were the 5?
It was
Us
me. Yeah, it was us two. It was our buddy Tom, our buddy Alon, who is in our league again. He was on hiatus for about 3 years.
I was gonna say it was one.
Yeah. And it was Manny's friend, or all of our friends now, Liz.
Okay, and this was
Liz
on.
Vet.
I don't
Shout out.
Was this on the NFL's website?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We use now.
It's
So we
always been
haven't
that.
we
You guys
we
see
haven't
the-
switched those.
Okay, yeah, that's consistent. I was gonna say, did you guys see that they changed like the whole interface and the whole?
Oh, yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
guys think of that?
It's a little better.
They really changed the app, and I don't know how to navigate it yet, which could be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I
But,
didn't think of that.
That's
Week-
absolutely.
Week 1, I'm gonna figure it out.
Everybody's got to figure it out.
That first
The,
free
the old
agency.
app was just so. It was so out there, like you couldn't figure out what was up, and
I
it
figured-
just
I
kept
thought the-
crashing every time. So
That's true, but I thought the old app was a little more. Hold on, I'm getting close to the mic. I don't want to yell at it. I thought the old mic was the old app was like a little more manageable, and I was already used to it, so I didn't mind. And then they
Yeah.
changed it, and I was like, because my coworker was trying to show me something. He was like, I drafted look at my team, and I was like, what app are you using? He was like NFL, and I was like,
You sure?
shit.
what? It's like what?
Like I didn't know we switched up.
Can we get a TV timeout?
Yeah,
What are we
right.
talking about?
Yeah, right. The hell.
So that was the origin of your fantasy team or your fantasy league.
Yeah,
Were you guys? Is that when you started playing fantasy football? Or
Yes.
Okay.
that's my first bit.
That was
yeah.
Did your toes in it with the group?
Yeah, it was. It's actually, I'll tell you a story. I actually never wanted to do it. I, for whatever reason, was just so against it. Now that I do it, it's like I live for
Or
it.
you
Like,
honestly,
I love it.
You're like, oh, you guys want to count
seeing
numbers?
his-
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
I just, for whatever reason, I just thought it was so stupid. And then I actually did it. I'm like, oh my god, this is so freaking
seeing
fun. Like,
seeing
you
his
know.
success rate over this number of years, he probably should have stuck to his original.
Shit, you're right.
I was gonna say, you're really
We got
Hey, you know what?
Mr. No Rings over
second,
here.
The second year in the league, I did make it to the championship game and had the highest scoring team that year, but I just couldn't win the big one.
It-
But I'm
you know
hoping
what?
for a better result this year.
It'd be like
18-1,
that.
baby.
Actually, right now you're looking at the Newtown Square reigning fantasy champ. Shout out! Talk about I literally, we don't play for money, right?
No, we don't.
Yeah, that I won $200 off. that,
Hey,
which
my
allowed
man,
me to
good for
buy
you. Holy
this
shit.
audio interface. It was
Hey,
so
good
bullshit. 'cause,
shit,
like
yeah.
everyone cared up until I got to the final playing against this kid named Grant. That we kind of were already like, all right, Grant, we might like have some problems with the coworker. But then like he was just like, oh, I don't care about fantasy football anymore. And I was like, well, this is a win, but what? And then we were literally going up, and I had put in 2 players. One was for the Packers, and one was for someone else. That literally were just bullshit pickups. And I ended up winning by 5 points. And I was like, I barely won. He didn't care, but run me my money.
Yeah, literally.
Run it for Now,
Dude,
so
you're winning money,
it's funny
fucking
because
right.
so what ends up happening for me every year in fantasy. So I have another league that I'm in. I've won that twice, and I always pick up like an NFL manager one halfway through the season just to have some variety of players.
Yeah. Or someone's always like, hey, we got this team, this one dropped out, you want to take it over?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So I always end up in like a third league. So last year, I won my NFL managed one that I started in like week 4,
There you go.
and my team in my other league was like ass. Like
It's
The
like,
first,
all right,
like-
so we started Derek Carr.
so, like I don't
Fact,
remember
here's my
who
backup
was
list
even
here.
on that team. So through like 7 or 8 games, I was like teetering on the edge of not making playoffs. 10-person league, only 4 teams go. So I was on I was looking like this team is going nowhere.
let's just
Like
get out the
mad
way.
embarrassed.
Yeah,
We randomized the draft order, so I was like, "There's not even
Yeah,
a
I think
benefit
it'd be
to
like-
this." Like, and so towards the end of the season, my team just started heating. Like, it just started heating up, and I ended up playing the number 1 ranked team in the first round of playoffs. And that dude initially said, I won out for like the last 5 weeks of the season, and he was like, "Yo, the one team," he was like, I want you to miss playoffs so bad because you're the only team I'm scared of because your team is getting hot at the right moment."
Yep, it's just what
And he
happens.
beat him, right?
I beat him, yeah. Beat him in the
won,
first round of
yeah.
playoffs.
He's like, God damn it.
And then got to the final, and it's funny because there was like a 4-way tiebreaker that had to occur that allowed the
To get
3rd and 4th seed to get into playoffs.
Jeez.
And so the
Doing
team
that.
that was at the 3rd spot was in playoffs as well as myself. So you end up with a 4-3 playoff, 4-3 final. And I made it, and then I beat her too. And it was like, you're the 2 teams that are supposed to just kind of get like walked over.
Yeah, and you got to the final and then you won. Were you the 4 or you the 3?
I was a 4. I was
Yeah,
a
there you go.
Alright, there you go.
So it was fun. It was fun for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you said it was fun, and there's definitely some competitiveness when it comes to fantasy football. Is that why you guys like it? Or
absolutely,
Are there other
yeah.
reasons why you like fantasy football?
There's so many reasons why I like
You just
fantasy
get to
football.
rub it in when you beat your friends, or you're like, you suck.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, it's just so fun.
I'll never forget the first 3 years we played and Liz was in the league. She never beat me.
Yeah.
I gave her shit for it every day. Every day for years.
That's like,
Jeez.
you're always building up, like, I'm gonna beat you this one day. No, you're not.
Yeah, actually,
Oh,
I'm also in another league, and in my league, I would always play this kid twice a year when I started. I started that league a year after I started this one, and I would beat him every year at least twice. I'd be like, dude, you fucking suck. I got your number. I've beaten him the past couple years, but there was a little hiatus where he beat me a couple
I mean,
times.
you threw out some names. You trying to throw out some names?
My buddy Joe.
Oh, alright,
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
We sneak this in you. Well,
Yeah.
It's not
Joe,
sneak in public.
this goes out to you.
Schmel, I love you, bud.
So I know all three of us actually support different football teams. You're a Cowboys fan. I'm a Pats fan.
Yo, bro, you can't put that on the internet. I work for the
Philadelphia
Eagles.
Dumpster fan, right?
Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Hey, you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
said it right
Super Bowl 52 champions. All right. He's seen his team won like 4 or 5 times in his entire life. Actually 6 now. Yeah, 6 now. You're right. Hey,
Yikes.
I at least got to see my team once, and it was in my hometown. I loved it. It was one of the best days of my entire life.
I went out that night.
I know you did. Yeah.
Brady.
I saw your Snapchat or your story on Facebook in a Brady jersey. You
Bro.
screamed Gronk Spike and threw a glass on the
First of
ground
all- first
in
of
the
all,
middle of
I wanted
Philadelphia.
to stay home and just, I was like, let me stay home. I'm gonna just chill out, get turned, and cry and go to sleep. And they're like, nah, we gotta go down Broad Street. So we drive into the city in a minivan, and there's a bottle of tequila in the back. So I'm like, let me just pound this. And they're like opening the windows, and we get down 76, and people are going nuts, hanging out of cars,
Oh,
everyone's
yeah.
screaming. We park by 2nd Street, and then we walk from like 2nd Street and Market all the way up to Broad, which is probably like a 20-minute walk from there. And we walked like when I got home, or when I got sober, I checked like how far I walked. We walked like 6 miles.
Oh yeah.
Because we walked down Broad and then said, all right, let's turn around. And like, so many people wanted to fight. And I couldn't have been like, I don't want to fight. I just want to keep the peace. And people were like, Brady sucked dick. And I'm like, really? Did you just have 505 yards?
He did throw for 500 yards. It was the best Super Bowl I've ever watched. Non-team bias, non-favorite team bias. It was the best Super Bowl I've
It's
ever
probably
watched.
16.
I disagree.
Nothing
Nothing beats
beats-
28-3.
Nothing beats.
I kind of have to agree with that.
I can't explain.
That
how
was an
sad I
incredible
was at
comeback.
halftime. I rolled the saddest one. You have to understand how sad someone has to be to flip an entire room of people to go from fuck the Patriots to it can happen.
Dude, I'm actually gonna be honest. During that 2014 Super Bowl between the Seahawks and the Patriots, it was everybody was so hardcore.
I've told this before.
Everybody was so hardcore dick riding the Seahawks. I'm like, I actually kind of want to see the Patriots win. And then Malcolm Butler intercepted that pass. I was like, holy shit!
That intercepted on the goal.
No.
I couldn't even believe it.
Honestly,
I couldn't believe he fucking threw it. Everybody knew. Like, how the fuck do you throw it? You Marshawn Lynch to the 1 yard line.
We stopped the run right before that.
there are
Still, it's Marshawn Lynch.
there are so many talking points about that game, and I think everyone misses the most important one, and that is what the fuck happened to Chris Matthews. Because he torched y'all that game.
Literally.
And I've never heard it
I
make
think
sense.
it's a thing where you have people that you trust, and even if you go into someone that's like he's killing it all game, we got Doug Baldwin, we have so and so.
But they weren't even throwing that
Yeah,
slant to
exactly.
him. That's the worst thing. In my opinion, in that
Who was that
game,
going to? Do you even know?
Ricardo Lockett,
of all people.
Oh wow.
who actually was forced to retire because of a bad neck injury. I saw the play. It was gruesome.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Heath
It was
actually
Jeff
did.
Heath.
It was bitch. Fuck Jeff Heath.
Hey,
Anyway.
well, hey.
But so anyway, the point I was saying of that we're all different football fans, but we all are Sixers fans.
Absolutely.
So I saw this tweet on
1, 2, 3,
Reddit
4,
from,
5, 6.
10 98 76ers.
Alright, it took me a second to get that one.
The long day.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, 76. But yeah, so I wanted to read this tweet I saw. Someone talking about Mike Scott talking about Jimmy Butler. You were playing 2K's Jimmy Butler earlier, so so was I. But he basically said that when he does come to Philly, y'all better boo the shit out of him. Believe you have to. You got to do that, and I'm gonna boo him with you. Now, how are you? Are you guys feeling like that about Jimmy Butler?
I actually-
Or are you feeling indifferent.
I'm actually going to start this. Me and my friends Mike and Tom, we are season ticket holders, so we are at damn near every home game. Yeah, it's so fun. I love going to Sixers games. And any chance we get the opportunity to boo a player, it's so fun. Like, you feel it. Even though we're up high, we're up in the mezzanine level, like the second row. We're like 3 rows from the back. We don't care. We're in it. We're
On your
screaming.
team or on the other team?
Oh, on the other team.
All right.
I have screamed at Brett Brown more than a few times.
We don't start that conversation.
Yeah, we won't. We won't.
I got feelings
Anyway.
about that. Very divisive.
Anyway.
Don't start that conversation.
Anyway, initially I hated the Jimmy Butler trade because I was just so like I didn't get it, and then I started to warm up to it. Like I said, and then I started to warm up to it because we got Al Horford, and then we started making moves that actually filled the bench.
Oh, no, I'm bad.
Yeah.
I thought you meant when we got Jimmy Butler.
No. When we traded Jimmy Butler, I was so hyped when we got Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler.
I was hyped when we did it.
Oh my god, it was
I was sad.
I
when we
missed-
traded him away, but then I was kind of like, all right, you know what? That makes sense.
Who, Jimmy or
Yeah, when we traded Jimmy away, or
I-
not traded away, but when he
No, I mean,
Sign
it was a
trade.
sign
It was a
trade.
sign trade. Yeah.
So
Anyway, yeah, it's us booing Jimmy Butler. Look, I'm gonna do it because Mike Scott. The fact that we re-signed him is it's like he's that guy. He's not from Philly, but he is so Philly. It's the greatest thing
I
ever.
saw him in an ice cream truck.
Oh yeah, I saw it. It was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen. Mike Scott serving ice cream to the faithful of Philadelphia because he loves Philly. He loves being a part of the city.
which is really weird because it was Mr. Softy, and last I checked, Mike Scott ain't no bitch.
He ain't no bitch at all.
That one was a little
Shit,
questionable. to me,
Shit, if
though.
anything, that should be
But,
Dwight
how
Howard in there.
How do you feel about Jimmy Butler? Are you indifferent or you feel like Josh?
So, while I initially didn't want us to sign and trade him to the Heat, I realized something, and I've been talking a lot of shit about Madden earlier, so I play a lot of Madden, and especially in franchise mode. I have one friend, Jack Despo, and then our boy Tom. It's around here somewhere. I don't know.
He's
They won't want to vouch for this, but last year we had a franchise that we ran for 2 years before it started like glitching out really bad.
Hey, y'all niggas supposed to do this for a year, maybe.
Yeah, no. So we did our third draft, second off-season draft, and at that point it was like, hey, listen, you guys keep downloading all these draft classes. I don't know what the fuck's going on. You gotta chill. So it started crashing whenever Tom would try to load in the games. Only for him though. Only for him. But
sometimes it happens.
I'd won 2 Super Bowls. I hadn't lost a game to anybody.
Okay.
Computer or to those 2. Completely undefeated. 48-0 regular season, 9-0 in the postseason.
This seems like an advertisement. Like,
And,
I'm the shit at bad.
And then we started a new league where I again went undefeated, rolled to the Super Bowl, beat Tom. So it's not an advertisement. I like to talk my shit.
Okay. I was gonna say, that's a quick
I like to talk my shit. So, but in those leagues, I started those leagues with different teams. So we had one where I was the Browns, another where I was on the Titans, another where I was around with the Raiders.
I remember.
And-
It probably would get boring to stay with the same team.
Well, yeah. So we switched it up. In the one franchise, I was in the AFC by myself with the Titans. The second time around, I was in the AFC with my friend Jack, which Tom thought he was slick because he wanted to put the 2 best players in one conference, hoping we would take each other.
No.
And what ended up happening was I took out Jack, and then I took out Tom.
So it was
He
like-
couldn't stop me from getting to
I
the
was gonna
Super
say,
Bowl.
so he wanted.
Wasn't he the
wanted
Bears
to-
in that one and he had Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback?
Yes,
Yeah,
he had
that
sounds like
he
blasphemy.
had an absurd.
It is.
It is.
It
No,
100%
it
is.
Hold on,
It
wait, real
is.
quick. Since this is kind of a football-ish episode, I want to talk about the fact that I saw Aaron Rodgers sporting like a mustache, like a handlebar mustache, same as Baker Mayfield. Who told these niggas that they can get Midwestern cowboy mustaches?
All right,
Listen, man, I didn't tell
Again, listen.
I didn't tell him
Think
that.
about this. Yeah.
It wasn't me.
At the same time, when you make as much money as Aaron Rodgers
Well,
does,
yeehaw.
like I said, when you make as much money as Aaron Rodgers does, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want. It's like,
I mean, that's
what are you
why
gonna
I
do?
can't.
I disagree.
Exa-
We need to take that out of American society because people
Shit.
have ran with that way too much.
Oh, of course they have.
You want to talk? Listen,
Cam and Russ.
listen, man.
I was watching an All-Star game with Kevin Hart and them from like 2012 or
Russell
something like that.
Westbrook, Jesus
Russell Westbrook
God.
was wearing the tightest camo pants, and like it's funny because Kevin
That's
Hart
just what
walked
he
up to him.
does.
He was joking with James Harden. He was like, "What size pants you think Russ wears?" He's like, "Oh, they're like a 32 something." And they walked up, and Russ was like, "I wear a 34, 28," and Kevin Hart was like, 26 slip.
Not for real though. Like
Love it.
like think about it. People with money, like, a lot of people might not know Pharrell like really well, but like Pharrell wear them big ass hats, and it's like, yo, who told you to put on that big ass hat like that? That shit look
Yeah,
trash.
it does.
If
It's
you want to be a
awful.
Canadian Mountie, you can be a Canadian Mountie.
I mean,
What's wrong with
yeah.
that?
But just go to Canadians. Just
Did
go
you-
to Canada.
did you-
Just be Canadian.
Did you see
He's
Aaron Rodgers
neither.
talks
He's
though?
not Canadian. Like, come on.
Basically,
man.
yeah, did you see Aaron Rodgers talks? It was just full on Canadian. Apparently, it was like denim on denim shirt, denim jacket, denim jeans, obviously.
Look,
And then he had like another jacket with like the Canada maple leaf inside of there. I'm
Yeah.
just like, why?
Well,
what are you doing?
Well, wait.
And then they
that's
played
not
on a
really fresh.
Canadian 80-yard field. It was all Canada, all day.
You feel the trash and I don't know.
at Winnipeg, keep blaming the NFL for that one.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
Alright, so let's go back to fantasy football because I know that we're drafting tomorrow. We got the big old draft board right there that y'all can't see. But with that draft board comes a strategy. In the simplest of terms, without just randomness.
Sometimes it
Okay,
is.
so if it is randomness, in the simplest ways, tell me how your randomness works.
Well, so going back to the shit talk about Matt,
Okay.
is that I was saying I adopted, all of that was to say, on those teams there was a lot of variety of players. And what I did in those with those franchises was I adopted the Bill Belichick way. Of my scheme over everything, it doesn't matter who the fuck you are. So like,
So you don't get attached to a player. You're more like, what are you
Listen,
doing
man.
for me?
I had Kevin Byard, an all-pro safety, pro bowler in real life. Got him up to a 99 overall.
Trader.
He wanted more money, and I was like, fuck that.
See,
Bye.
that's the thing.
Drafted a new safety. No, I didn't even draft a safety. I picked up Darian Thompson, who no one knows who that is for
That
good
could come
reason.
on, like,
Doesn't he play for the Giants?
At least in the
yeah,
start
probably.
of Madden, he was on the Cowboys.
Okay, okay. That's how you
But to give
Yeah.
you but I didn't have the franchise with the Cowboys, so I had no idea who he was. He was just a free agent. But this year, he's like a 68 overall safety in that. Last year, I want to say he was like a 70, 72 or some shit.
sliding.
Picked him up. He's not a rookie. I
They're
made
all
him my
bad.
starting safety. Got him to like the high 80s overall, and won a Super Bowl with him as like my single high deep safety. It was kind of nuts.
Hey.
But-
okay.
If it
Like-
works, it works. Like,
I
what
mean,
are you
if
gonna
it
do?
works, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing. I don't want to
Overvalue one player.
I don't want to overvalue anything.
Yeah.
What it is, I
It's
want to
a fancy
recognize.
name. It's a fancy label. You don't want to get it. Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers always puts up points for the TV. But like,
But it's an appreciation of talent. So like, for example, there are some players who are highly talented, where I'm like, you know what, I wouldn't actually want to draft that player because they have certain inconsistencies,
Yeah.
or something around their team is super inconsistent. Cough cough Matt Ryan, cough cough Eli Manning,
I mean,
Cough,
this
cough.
year. Hold on.
Giants
Matt
O line,
Matt
cough
Ryan,
cough,
Matt Ryan be going off in stadiums, and
He
the
really
Falcons
is.
are playing
in
like
domes. Yeah,
Falcons playing like the first 14 games indoors.
Jesus.
that's nuts.
So I mean,
Matt Ryan, I take it all back.
Yeah,
Might
He's about
be
to
a
be-
year, Matt Ryan.
He's about to be some heat this year.
no, I was gonna say
Okay.
this is always got Julio Jones, but let's not do him like he's got an MVP.
So-
wait, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, Matt Ryan was the MVP.
All right,
2016.
he had the
No,
MVP.
and that's what I was gonna say. It
And
really
they
does
had
sucks that like Cam has the MVP, Matt has the MVP,
And they lost in the Super Bowl.
And you know what's fucking crazy to
No one else
me?
has an MVP. I
Drew
was gonna
Brees
say,
doesn't
doesn't
have
have
one.
an MVP.
Nope. Because the Bucks are trash.
Drew
boys and
Brees
girls.
has thrown for 5,000 yards
Well, like the one
in
year,
more seasons than I
I
can
was gonna
think.
say the
Like,
one year he was
count
gonna
right
win.
now.
Peyton won. It was, what year? I don't know what year that was. I don't want to front like I know what year that was. I just know that one of the years Peyton won that Drew Brees had one of the best shots up.
But that's the thing. It's like if you look back at like
Excuse me.
MVP voting for Drew Brees, he like never gets any love.
Yeah.
And I think it's because everyone tries to play up the narrative of like, oh, he's only good in domes. Look at this. Drew Brees only has 8 guaranteed games in domes. Or, well, 10, because the Falcons play in.
Mhm.
So, or not 10, 9. One game on the
Yeah, yeah,
Falcons.
nah.
So-
the math checks out.
Yeah,
The math is somewhere around there.
yeah, exactly.
So he gets like 9 guaranteed games indoors in a season. Cool. That means that any season where Drew Brees wins more than 9 games, he went on the road somewhere and bust somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Probably outside of a dome, because there's not a lot of domes in the NFL, honestly.
No, there's not.
yeah,
There's
no.
I think like maybe 4 or 5 teams. Yeah, 4.
In
4 or 5.
Yeah, I can think of.
But so it's like, but even then, Drew Brees didn't decide to, he didn't decide that he was only going to play indoors. He was like, oh, I'm way better playing indoors.
It's just,
No, he was on the Chargers, and the Chargers were like, all right, we're going to go with Phillip Rivers. And he was like, cool, fuck that, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
You went all the way back to the start.
And
right.
the Saints wanted to pay him a shit ton of money, so he was like, bet, let's do it.
I think it was between him and Dante Culpepper that year. Back in 06. It was between him and Dante Culpepper.
That was a good choice.
The Saints signed Drew
Yeah, it was
Brees.
phenomenal
The
choice.
Saints signed Drew Brees. The Dolphins didn't like Drew Brees' medical history, so they went after Dante Culpepper. You tell me he was still in the NFL.
All right.
Dante Culpepper held the name.
So the last football-related question. Actually, you know what? Talk about Jay-Z. The second to last football-related question I got for you guys. What's your favorite thing about football?
Wow. Partly, I guess, for me, I played it, so I love playing the game, and I played it all the time as a kid.
You play football.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I played football in high school. I played it as a kid, like with my friends. I would love going out catching passes, and I just love watching it. I love the energy. I love how into it every fan gets, and I love the stats. Like, which is why another reason why I play fantasy football. I love the stats. I love keeping up. I love the players. I love keeping up, like who's where, who's putting up what stats.
Which is what I found out is that casual viewers of the NFL, and they try and play fantasy football, and they're like, what? I gotta pay attention to the stats? And it's like, It's like, what were you watching before? It's like, oh, I just like
What the fuck are you talking
see the
about?
passes and the tackles. It's like, hey, okay, that's. I'm not gonna discredit that. That's a fair part to watch.
No, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I enjoy watching Marshawn Lynch stiff arm people.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
okay,
no,
that's
no.
not a quantifiable stat.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not.
you can check the number of times you stiff arm somebody, but that doesn't
Not gonna
impact
get
wins.
MVP for like 40 stiff arms.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a real
He
stat.
broke 12 faces this year.
MVP. NFC running back of the year.
Yeah, right.
right there. There it is.
Shit.
I was gonna say, I really like it though. It just feels like all the reasons you said, and also the just sports in general. The highs really make like you have a bunch of lows.
It's incredible.
And then, or so, I guess some teams have a bunch of lows.
Don't-
For basketball.
Don't talk to me.
Basketball,
Don't talk
there's
to me
a bunch
about
of lows,
those.
and then you hit the highs.
Stop.
And even your highs don't have to be a big high like winning a championship. It can be drafting a player that's really good, or it can
Exactly.
be winning your first championship,
Mm-hmm.
or it literally can just be like we finally got rid of that one coach that sucks, and they're gone.
Here's looking at you, Chip.
Oh,
Dickhead.
man. All right,
Jesus. Whoa. This man out here burning bridges. Don't try and coach football.
Oh, I burned my
Bad.
bridge with Chip Kelly a long time
I
ago.
don't know if I was ever like.
You want to
I
go? You want to go to the front office? Brian Colangelo. Fuck you.
said, hey, I-
Jesus Christ. I hope he doesn't try and get a job in the
I was gonna say, if I
NBA.
wanted to go get a job and someone was like, "Well, you were talking shit about Chip Kelly, so you can't be this," I'd be like, "You know what? I did do that."
Yeah,
But
it's
actually, so there was this
I
story.
agree.
There's a story I talked about a couple weeks ago on my podcast, and the listeners, there's very few of you, so I don't really care about repeat shit. But
whatever.
basically, the comedian Ari Spears told this story about why you should be careful with what you say, because basically he went on some tweets being like, what's the shit called? Fucking with Jordan Peele and Kegel.
Key and Peele.
Yeah, why did I forget that? He was talking about how like he was
Pretty
talking,
bad.
he was tweeting shit. Yeah, I gotta get it up. He was talking shit about tweeting and how Key and Peele wasn't funny and Keegan Michael Key like if he put I could play that role. And so Ari Spears goes in to do a movie and he thinks it's gonna be Jordan Peele and he shows up and it's Keegan Michael Key and he's sitting there and he's like, "Hi, audition." And Ari Spears does the audition and then they're like, "We actually don't want to go with you." They actually ended up going with like Cedric the Entertainer. And so Aries was like, I don't know if they went with him because he's funnier, because he's fatter, because he's blacker, or because I was talking shit about Keegan Michael Key. So it's just like, I accept that. If I ever walked in somewhere and they were like, Chip Kelly said, I'd be like, fair.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean,
I'll own up to
Yeah,
it. I'll be
I'm
honest.
fair.
I'll own up to it.
that's
It's
why.
no secret that
so
I do not like either of them.
there's a reason why I am a more tame in certain opinions, especially when I'm on camera. I don't know if you know, but my friends and I, we tried running a sports site, a sports journalism site back in the day. Yeah, so that was a few years back. And one of the things that I always said, I was trying to choose my words carefully, so that even if I was saying something bad about somebody, like if I was trying to talking about Kirk Cousins' inabilities to necessarily pull out games, I would say it like that instead of saying
being
Kirk
like,
Cousins
"Dude,
is like
he's
a
not
choke."
clutch.
Or saying
Yeah.
saying he's a choker, saying he's trash or something like that.
Yeah.
Because if my dreams come true, which is I want to coach at a high level, whether it's football, whether it's football or the NBA. I don't want to end up coaching for like, say, the Wizards, and John Wall's like, yo, bro, you remember that one time you did that podcast and you were saying I couldn't shoot for shit? Like, what's good with you? Or like, I ended up coaching with like the Vikings, and Kirk Cousins like, oh, so I'm not clutch, huh? So how we gonna pull this game out since I'm so fucking bad? Like, I don't want to be in a situation where on something like that. So like,
That's fair. No, that's very.
I try and back up stuff with stats, but I try and be careful with my words because you never know, where you're gonna be, where you're gonna end up.
That's the truth.
Or even like what could be said. It's just that's why I like forums like this. Like you were saying, you had a sports talk show. It's very nice to sit down and talk because like online you only get a certain amount of characters to say what you want to say, and even then the inflection of what you said can be taken wrong. And it's just nice to have these conversations. And it's like that's what they actually feel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that Jamel Hill article.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But
it's also
later
like,
on.
I also feel like I will say my mind. I say a lot of things and I'm wrong, and I'd rather say them and be wrong and have someone correct me. But also I say things that it's my feeling, and if you feel like I'm wrong but I know I'm right. For example, I had a video about the Civil War myths and causes of the Civil War, and people like to dispute that, and it's like, well, you can dispute it, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
So like things like that, it's like it's my opinion, but it's also my opinion based off of a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
So a fact can't be wrong. So like,
Well, that's like I know you remember because it was a Facebook post. You ended up getting involved and commenting on it.
that
and
sounds like me.
when I first saw that you commented on it,
really does.
I went to go write a reply, and I was like, let me wait and just see if Cliff steps in on it. And you came in and you shut the dude down because he was like, somebody was trying to say the Civil War essentially wasn't over slaves.
Oh my god.
I remember
And
that.
so, yeah.
I read it. And
My
brain
favorite
just
saying
fucking
by historians is that those who know a little bit about the Civil War think it's fought over slavery. Those who know a little more think it's fought over state rights, and those who know a lot know it was fought over slavery.
It's
fought
100%
over state
fought over
rights
slavery.
to own people. Yeah.
I would say, and that's the thing, you can
So,
twist
yeah,
it
state
however
rights,
you want.
but
But it all
State
goes
rights
back to slavery
to own
ownership.
people.
It
It's
just
like
does.
South Carolina was one of the first states to secede, and they're basically like, to make a long story short, there was this whole bloodshed in Kansas about whether or not it'd be a free state or slave state. After some fraudulent elections, it became a free state.
Dang.
Excuse
That's
me.
deeper.
Yeah, I know.
But
Come
yeah,
on, brother, Mike's right there.
But no, so Kansas became a free state, and when Kansas was a free state, a lot of Southern delegates were like, well, they made that a free state, so what's stopping them from taking away our slaves? And they're like, secede! And South Carolina actually released like the first letter being like, we're seceding, this is why you are infringing on our state rights to have workers and this and that. And it's crazy.
And it's like, it's not a child labor law.
no,
We're talking about you just owning people.
Literally.
Literally owning niggas. And saying, like, fuck your rights.
And it's just crazy. Like, we talked about it last
It's
podcast.
inhumane,
It's like
what it is.
you took people and you made them your workers, and then you're like, you guys are lazy. You
Yeah.
guys don't want to work. Nigga, I worked the last 400 years. I'm trying to take a break.
Yeah, for real.
When I put my feet up on the table, I'm putting up on the table for my ancestors, man.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
back up off me a little bit. Give me some space. Give me some space. Like,
I'd say I feel you guys, but obviously I don't. So
I mean, you could feel us adjacent.
I feel you, Jason.
feels and Jason.
I'm a hardworking man
No, but
myself.
that's
you
one
over
of the
here,
things-
you feel us, but you adjacent.
Yeah, exactly. Like I get it. I do.
You're not on the same line. You're not parallel, but you running next to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right there.
But no, like that's one
I
of the
know
things
all
for me. It's like if you go back and you look at it, the entire system. I mean, it's literally even in the Constitution. Like you're using you're using your slaves to account for more votes on the
Shout out
3/5
13.
compromise. But at the same time, you're saying slaves don't have rights. You're using them for labor, free labor, which we've all heard the stories. I assume the majority of people have seen the groups. Like
Yep.
we
OJ.
all know these. Like we all know these things, and it's just like. But it's over state rights, and I feel like that's the twist that people who are
They put on.
truly Confederates at heart, or
Feel like-
Southern sympathizers, is
Mhm.
that it was over state rights. No,
Bullshit.
of course we didn't want the slave. It wasn't about slaves. Slavery was awful, and it's just like
shut the fuck
no,
up.
shut that
Just shut
shit
the
up.
fuck. They're like, remember taxation for representation? It's like that. Like, that's what it's like.
It's like, no,
It's like,
no,
shut the fuck up.
You didn't want somebody to tell you couldn't own another man.
Which
Which
is
is
like, even like I have a video that I was gonna make and it's just sitting on my phone that I never put out. But I basically saw this thing on another podcast where this lady made a Yelp review for a Southern plantation. She got to the plantation and she was
Oh,
I
upset.
think I remember
I think
this.
did I
think
share that with you,
remember
or did you
this.
share it to our group chat?
I
We
went straight to the
definitely
group
talked
chat
about
because they were talking about it on the podcast, and it was so crazy because she was like, "We got to this plantation, and it felt like the tour guide was hounding us on slavery, making
No
us feel
shit.
guilty." And see, my ancestors from Sicily, and they never had slaves, and I mean the Romans had slaves, but
Yeah,
and
they
then my
did.
husband's ancestors were German, and they never had slaves. Talk
We
about.
don't want to talk about
yeah,
German
it's-
history.
Yeah.
So,
And she says, blah, blah, we'll never be coming back here again. We're going to go to Louisiana, where the plantations there are nice. And it's like,
What?
what did you come to learn about? Like, that's like going to Mexico and being like, all they did was speak Spanish.
No shit.
this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
You
I
went
can't
to-
even believe
you went
it.
to the Holocaust Museum and said they were really hard on the Nazis. And it's like, that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to happen when
That's
you go there.
literally the job.
It's part of the history that needs to be talked about.
But that's the thing, like,
You know
it's,
yeah.
you can't go to a museum of sugar coated.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you want to go to a plantation, you want to go to a museum, what you should want and what the museum should do is punch you in the face with fucking facts.
It's the truth. Yeah.
It really just feels like it's like, what did you want? Did you want the like history of the tobacco weed? You're trying to figure out like the
fuck out.
oh, tell me the facts about the cotton gin. Like, how is this wrong? Like, what was
You
your
didn't learn
idea?
that in school. You know what's
Right.
funny? We actually had a conversation about that in our chat. Like, it was just like, at the same time, it's like, I think actually Mike brought it up. It's like, well, what the fuck do you expect? Like, maybe not your ancestors in particular, but like, white people back then owned slaves. It's not a fucking secret.
It's just really funny to go back.
I know, yeah. And everybody's like, oh, you're bashing me? Of course you're fucking bashing you. White people owned slaves. Like, I get it. It's fucking terrible.
No, I wouldn't say bashing. Like I wouldn't expect
It's-
to show up to
you're
a
right, it's
tour
not
and
bashing.
being like, and the white devil did like it was
The white
hilarious.
devil.
Very biased. Like, so yeah, but anyway, to go to an adjacent topic, I want to talk about Jay-Z inking the deal with the NFL. Some people are feeling one way, some people are feeling another way. I want to gauge your guys' feelings on it. Even if have you heard about it?
We
We
did
talked
talk
about it a little bit.
Gotta say, we talked about it briefly. Yeah. I don't know too much about it, so I'm gonna let Manny do most of the talking. But I personally just feel like it's another ploy for the NFL just to get more money, just like anything else is with Roger Goodell or anything.
How you feeling over there?
Okay.
Choosing the words wisely.
Y'all about to be learned. Let's just put it that way.
I'm not going to
So-
choose the words wisely. I don't make music. If I need to produce with Jay-Z, that would be a really big miss.
Yeah, right.
But
Like I said, y'all about to be
So-
learned. Just listen.
So I said this earlier, and I said I'm gonna pull off a very impressive feat. Okay, so I'm going to number one. I read an article by Jamel Hill, and I don't want this
The article title was very sensationalized, by the way.
very, very, very informative. I really do think it was extreme. And I would like to start off, and this isn't just me trying to protect myself in case I work with Jamel Hill. I really do love Jamel Hill. I really love her work. I love her as a journalist.
Women of color all the time.
I mean, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
support women of color, and like, I still follow her on Twitter. I love her, but she wrote an article and it said that Jay-Z was helping the NFL banish Colin Kaepernick. With that opinion, I think it's extreme, and I disagree. Because Jay-Z, the partnership that Jay-Z and the NFL are supposed to have together is supposed to continue working towards social justice. And one of the things that people keep saying in the media, and like Eric Reed tweeted out like that Kaepernick was not part of this deal.
Eric Reed was very
What?
vocal about it.
Well,
Eric
yeah,
Reed's been vocal
He was
about
very
everything.
vocal about it.
But what-
Kaepernick even threw some like shade in the comment.
but the thing is that like, I think if we get so tied up in Colin Kaepernick not having a job, we get away from what it's really about. And I saw a lot of that on Twitter. And at the end of the day, I kind of agree with that standpoint. If Jay-Z comes into this deal and he does what he's supposed to do, meaning that he's still fighting for social justice, he's working on behalf of the people with the NFL to help the NFL become more woke, more
More aware of the
More
racial
aware of the
Trying to
issues
raise
and-
faith communities going.
Mhm. Yeah.
raise awareness, trying to
And it's
fix
money where
problems
the
in the
owners
community.
Or the owners won't.
Yeah, I say don't.
Well,
don't
so
even say kids.
Here's what would be. I don't want to say ideal because I would love for the owners to just own up to it
Oh yeah.
and
but-
finally say fuck Trump.
Yeah.
there it is. We did it. I went against Jamel Hill and Trump in the same spiel. So
I was wondering where the net was going.
so
I was wondering where the net was going to cast that.
if you can get across, both sides of it, where you're saying like, okay, everything the NFL owners say isn't correct. Them supporting Trump isn't right, because a lot of Trump's policies aren't right. But I don't want to get into trying to break down every single one of his policies.
We're not doing
that. I really try not to talk about that.
Smart.
So,
Very smart.
I
exactly.
I try not to.
It's not worth.
I don't want to get into all the nitty gritty. And I mean, it's not that everything he does is wrong. It's just certain opinions. But that's the nature of politics. There's no politician.
What? I don't give a fuck.
There's no politician that anyone
If you all know me
will-
very well, you'll know how I feel about Donald Trump.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. There's nothing that any politician can say that will always 100% be right. Every single politician has their flaws.
And that's
Obama
the
wasn't
truth.
perfect.
Yeah.
Trump isn't perfect. It's
It
real
does.
world. It's real life.
I'm trying to fight right now.
It's
He said, "Oh well, he wore a tan suit. No one's perfect." I'm
I
sorry.
did not. I was not going to bring up the tan suit. I was not bringing up the tan suit.
I don't think he's going
But-
there. Jesus God.
But like,
Fuck.
if you run back through every president in the United States, all of them have their own unique flaws. I.e.,
Agree.
Abraham Lincoln was still racist.
James
Freed the
Buchanan,
slaves, but still racist.
James Buchanan is still the worst president ever, which is why Pennsylvania is still never
Okay,
had a president
so
afterwards.
James Buchanan was the worst president ever simply because he wouldn't start the Civil War, which I think is a little harsh. I mean, I would have enjoyed if he would have started the Civil War. Check the skin tone. But
Yeah.
Actually, I was as a kid. I was always curious. 'Cause obviously, we live in Pennsylvania. I was always curious if anybody from Pennsylvania was ever president. I'm like, oh, James Buchanan. I read about him. I'm like, oh god, this dude fucking sucks.
You just gotta, you gotta listen to those of them.
Yeah.
Right? But I just want to say, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I just have two problems with it. My first problem is that even if Jay-Z wants to come in and do these social changes and put his money where the owners' mouths don't want to be, I still feel like because the owners don't care, I feel like at a very base level and giving him the benefit of the doubt, I really don't think it was ever, he's kneeling, we don't like the fact that we're racist, we're evil, let's just banish him. I feel like it was more like this is a distraction and we don't care about that. It's not, it's affecting our pockets. That's
The
what we
bottom line.
care about.
It's money.
It's about
It's
pocket
money.
money.
And I think that's
I did
just
say
as bad. And
$40.
I feel like, for me at least, them bringing in Jay-Z is allowing them to recuperate that money. Because there are people that want to spend money on the NFL, and they're on the fence. I said this earlier in the car, but they're kind of like, I want to come back, but it's still an iffy situation.
Exactly.
With like, well, what are they going to do to address these things? And
Yeah.
the NFL is like, well, we're going to bring in Jay-Z, and he'll address these things.
well, here's
because
where
we don't care.
Exactly.
here's where I think the line comes in where Jay-Z is going to have to toe it well. Not toe it gently, not toe it politely. It's Jay-Z. He's gonna if he's gonna toe it, he's gonna be bold as hell.
And that's the only way
So-
that I would
It's gotta
actually
be.
be okay with it is if Jay-Z came in guns blazing, like, this is what we're doing and this is what we're doing. But it just comes off so wrong, especially when you realize that he told Jermaine Dupri was going to sign a deal with the NFL, and he said, nah, we off that. Kaepernick's still another job. Come to dinner with me. And Jermaine Dupri went to dinner and he got dinner with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z got fucking money from the NFL.
But
Jay-Z's
here's
already
the thing,
billionaire,
and
too,
this is the key to
Also, this
as far as
wouldn't
the
be a
news
story
goes.
if it was Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah, no, it's
Because
true.
no one cares about you.
Okay,
No.
I
So
don't even know
let
who
me
it is.
let me run that back. Let me run that back.
I don't
This
care
is-
about Jermaine Dupri.
This is all phrasing. I respect Jermaine Dupri for
Bruh, come
for
on,
his
you don't
influence on the
gotta do this for every single person.
No. This isn't even again not a covering my ass situation. Jermaine Dupri gave us Bow Wow. There's a lot of Bow Wow songs that I love. You know,
Shit.
there's a lot of
I'll give you
Bow Wow has a lot of movies. Like I
Okay.
truly respect for Jermaine Dupri for his impact in the entertainment business.
Real quick, Jermaine Dupri was
But
saying
like-
some shit about how all female rappers do is talk about just twerking and drugs and this and that.
So
And I'm
that's
like,
not the fucking
that's
truth.
That's what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's when I was
Okay,
off.
so-
That's when I was off Jermaine Dupri.
So here was my take on that, right? And this is not me necessarily saying Jermaine Dupri was right, but I would say that he's not necessarily wrong. And here's the thing:
But it's everybody.
he's saying what he said specifically wasn't all female rappers; it was mainstream female rappers.
He's talking about
Which
Meg Thee
the
Stallion.
mainstream,
He's talking about Meg Thee Stallion.
but here's the thing: the mainstream female rappers that he's talking about are rapping about the same thing as male mainstream rappers as well.
So you should just.
But
said
no
mainstream.
one
You should've just
is
chopped the
saying
gender off.
Nah,
that
you're probably
either
right.
of them are good. But in the question that he was asked, it was addressing female rappers. It was an interview.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Alright.
like, you can only give him so much shit. And, you know, because I followed it on Twitter, and everyone was replying, like, there are so many good female rappers that don't talk about any of those things. And I'm like, I'm not disagreeing.
No name.
No name for sure. And I'm not disagreeing that there are good female rappers who don't sell sex, who don't talk about sex, drugs, and just generally twerk.
Yeah.
I remember watching Chance's SNL performance when he did Finish Line Bound right after Coloring Book came out. And No Name was there, and she did her verse, and she was super awkward on stage.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like, that's cool. Like, that's fine. You don't have to have the best stage presence in the world, especially not if you're a rapper.
Well, because
But-
I remember watching a video of Kanye do a performance, and he looked so stiff and awkward. And it was like early Kanye. But
Yeah.
he was still going off, and it's like, as long as you can do that, then
As long as you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
But the big thing for me is that No Name for us is a name because we're used to it. Like, I loved her. I loved her Project Shadow Man. I still listen to that album. I love her work that she's done with Chance. Like, I appreciate No Name as a rapper.
But if you didn't know
But
her, then you wouldn't have that.
If you don't know her, you don't know her.
I don't.
But everybody
I'll be
knows
honest.
Cardi B. Everybody knows Nicki
Unfortunately.
Minaj.
Unfortunately.
Everybody knows Meg Thee Stallion. Everyone knows the City Girls.
Okay.
That's mainstream, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
No,
what
it's
got
mainstream.
what got to the mainstream?
Okay.
The people rapping about drugs, twerking, and selling sex.
Okay.
So
I
he's
do-
not incorrect in his point,
I just
but
wish he would have phrased it. You're right. He's not incorrect what he's saying.
it's not. I mean, it's not what you say; it's how you say it. Everyone's been saying that forever,
Yeah.
and it's really the truth. Like he didn't phrase it in the
It does
best
just
way.
blow my mind that so many people like just if you phrase your words properly, we wouldn't even have to
It makes
be
such
talking about this. Because
How
like
you
even I
phrase
like,
things makes such a
we
difference.
talk
It
about
really
this.
does.
We've been talking this whole time, and it's like we stumble over our words, but like I don't think we've conveyed anything different than what we
No,
had.
not at all.
So-
Yeah, I don't think we have it all.
But yeah, and I just want to end this topic by saying my second thing that bothers me about the deal with Jay-Z and the NFL is that Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job still. Now Jay-Z has a job with the NFL,
Mhm.
and that just rubbed me wrong. Like if I was Jay-Z and the NFL, I thought they needed them as much as I'm thinking right now, I'd roll in there and I'd be like, listen, I need Colin Kaepernick to have like a training day. I need all the teams to look at him and scout him, and I know goddamn well Colin Kaepernick is better than at least 60% of quarterbacks in the league.
The backup
I feel like-
quarterbacks, yes.
No,
No,
because
he's
majority of
better
quarterbacks in the
than
league
every
are
backup
backups.
quarterback.
Majority of quarterbacks in the league are backups. If you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, it's true.
He's
There are only 32
in my
starting ones.
opinion, and I've held this opinion since
Oh yeah.
he initially didn't get signed that offseason. Colin Kaepernick at that time was probably, if you say every team's carrying two quarterbacks, it's 106 quarterbacks in the NFL. I didn't do the math on it,
He's better than like
but then
130
he's
of them.
better.
Yeah.
If there's 100, if you just say baseline, every team has 2 on the roster.
That's 64
106.
at least.
He was better than.
Yeah, wait, go back.
Oh shit, you're right. I'm thinking 53 man
Yeah,
roster.
no, you get it.
So
I was
So
like,
64.
Yeah.
64, my god, the hell?
He's better.
32 times
That,
2.
he was better than. If there's 64, he was better than 75% of them.
I honestly
Meaning-
agree.
Every single backup and half the starters. That was what I said when he first
I
initially.
could agree. I really feel that way.
When he first initially ended up being Balco.
Let-
To this day, while I don't know if it's necessarily 75, I'd probably feel comfortable with your number of 60.
Okay.
Like I think
I got
he's
you.
better than every backup, and
Yeah.
then there's probably still some starters that he would beat out.
And that is the opinion that I'm glad we share. So
And
that's
I
how
got you.
I was gonna say that's how we feel about the Jay-Z deal. And I know you didn't really get a chance to comment on it, but I didn't really explain
He
a lot of the
abstained.
deal to you.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. It's just I'm not really well versed
I
in
mean-
it. That's the thing.
You don't really know a lot.
like I
about
said,
it.
Yeah.
no one really knows a lot about it.
Yeah.
My main thing is that you have to wait and see what Jay-Z does. Jay-Z's
Mhm.
been extremely active in the community the entire time he's
Yeah.
been, since he stopped selling drugs, got big, and has since started making a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So
I married Beyonce.
I would think, well, yeah,
and helped out Meek and 21
helped out
Savage.
me,
Alright,
21
Keep going.
Savage.
Yeah, I got you.
But the main point being that you have to give him time to see what he's doing. If
Yeah.
if 3 months from now we look back and it's like,
It's
yo,
still sketchy.
what's Jay-Z been doing with the NFL?
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, Jay-Z,
Alright,
like
well, what are
you
doing?
might have sold out on that one.
But,
But if we look back in 3 months and it's like, yo, Jay-Z is really making a difference in the field of social justice, then you have to give him credit. But I think everyone reacted too harshly to him
it really,
signing this
yeah,
partnership,
it really did like hurt
opposed
that.
to seeing what he's actually doing.
It just hurt that he didn't say anything. It would have been a lot easier if he would have been like, "This is in fact." It's just the fact that we all have to guess, and that's what gets the internet going. It's not a good thing, but that's what gets the internet going is uncertainty and guessing.
That is
Here's the
any
thing.
guessing game gets
It's
like
it's
the internet
Jay-Z.
going.
How does Jay-Z operate? He doesn't say anything
Yeah,
until he's done it, and after he does it, in some rap song, whether it's his own or if he features in it,
it's like, oh, that's what he was doing.
he
Yeah.
starts bragging like shit.
He said, "I'm off it."
You know, like we were listening to What's Free earlier. The first few bars of that verse is just him listing off things that he owns and like how much of it he owns. 50% of Duce, 50% of Rock Nation. Like,
I won't
and
say
the
it,
thing
I guess.
is that like with that he lists when he's rhyming off those things. It's like, yo, I didn't know Jay-Z owned these things, but that's because Jay-Z works in silence. He just handles his business.
Well, and even before we end the
He's
topic,
not a
I just wanna
businessman.
say,
He's a businessman.
We did a pop bites, and I was waiting for that line to come up. But I want to talk about when we were looking at Jay-Z's worth when he became a billionaire and all of his properties. I was like, God damn, this thing has more properties in real estate and paintings than like the entire Rock Nation combined. Like Rock Nation was like 150, 200 million. He had like 70 million in real estate and like 50 million in art and something else. And it's like,
The story of OJ.
yeah, that's what do you? All right, so that is enough on that. Like I said, that's how we feel right now.
Painted for $1 million.
I want to move into our
Years,
horrors, not
$2 million. Literally
horrors,
is worth $4 million.
Wars. Yeah.
horrors of the world. Ooh, music in post. And then you guys are here for this podcast, so this is something I recently started doing.
Okay.
I'll play
Yeah.
a little scary beat and freestyle over it. The last one wasn't so good, but you know, we'll see what it do.
Like, you really about to freestyle? like
it's
rap?
gonna be shit, and it's gonna be about what we're talking about. But
Alright, yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Do your thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't
Yeah.
hear the beat, by the
Playing.
way.
Listen, we have no idea what's playing. he just sitting here listening. We're like, what the hell's going on? Like, what the fuck?
I was not in my head. I was like, I hope
I'm just
I'm on
like,
beat.
I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm never on beat to begin with, but I'm like, shit. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing this shit. I can do that. We're raising the roof. In this
Everybody
bitch.
in the 202, put your hands in the air, come back, show this through. Yeah.
Alright, are we good? Can you?
Yeah.
We can hear it now. There we go.
That was pretty
Trying to
embarrassing.
beat up with my headphones, bro.
There we go.
Yeah, horrors of the world. It's some freaky shit, guys. Listen, got a girl who fell in a plane crash. She survived, but then she had to make a dash. I told y'all it was shitty, and I don't even want to continue. I'm getting stares right now. I wasn't prepared for this.
Dude, it's okay. Keep
He's over
going.
there in the chair like that was off.
He's like, wait, what?
Him over there judging like shit, bro.
Jim's like,
But horrors of the world. Today we are talking about Julianne Kopchak. She is a woman who survived 11 days in the rainforest. So, she was exhausted, covered in 1 million bug bites, and had a couple broken bones. She had just fallen 10,000 feet from the air.
How'd she survive?
She survived 11 days in the rainforest.
holy shit.
I'm
Whoa.
gonna delay real quick. We don't need you playing all the time. That can really be in post.
Yeah.
So basically, she walked and crawled until she couldn't, and I don't know how she did it, but she survived. So
That's
we're gonna
insane.
talk about that. It basically, and she had a little edge up. Like it couldn't have just been anyone that went out here and survived because you'll find out. Basically, Juliana was born in Lima, Peru in 1954 to German parents who worked at the Museum of Natural History.
Damn, so she
and
wasn't
Lima.
even young.
Gotta say,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
she's in her 60s or
Oh, yeah.
almost 60s.
She lived a life.
She a survivor.
We got a question from the outside. Are you doing some math?
Her parents were Nazis.
All right, listen.
All right, there was
Jesus,
no
Jim,
need for
Jim,
that.
stop.
No, that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily
That's
true.
not true at all.
Just born in Peru.
She was born.
Well, yeah.
She was born in
No, her
1954.
parents. She was born in Peru.
Yeah,
Her parents-
To German parents in South America.
Hey.
Okay,
Look,
that
let's-
could
let's-
just be a coincidence.
Shit.
I'm gonna take it with it over my note because it could.
Yeah,
But it could
you're
also
right.
be a coincidence.
Okay.
Jim's
We
like,
do
hold
not
the fuck
subscribe
up.
to the. We do not subscribe here to the theory that Hitler lived the rest of his days in South America. Okay, we don't subscribe to that conspiracy theory.
So that's
We
for
do
another,
not.
That's for another episode. So basically,
So we come in another episode after this.
What's up? No. I especially like when I film these episodes, immediately after filming, I'm like, all right, you guys want to just get up and go walk for like 10 minutes. Like sitting for an hour is like it's the laziest shit to say, but it's like tiring.
It kind of
It's the mental fatigue because
Yeah.
you're talking, you're getting into deep subjects.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, back into this one. So basically, Juliana's parents were Scientologists, or not Scientologists.
Oh, God.
They were scientists.
Okay, there you go.
Oh God, that's still not better.
Gotta say, is that another
Yo,
topic
Kim,
for another day?
get out! Why'd you start this? Get out!
Her father was a biologist, and her mother was an orientalist.
Okay.
So when she was 14, her parents decided to leave Lima and set up in Panguana.
Wait.
And they set up a research station in the forest.
Hmm.
So there they taught her survival skills, and they taught her how to, like, what to eat, how to live out in the forest, and stuff like that, live off the land. So eventually, the school system in Peru was like, hey, you got a daughter there about 14 that's not in school. We want her back in school. So they made her parents bring her back so she can continue her education.
Okay.
Okay, interesting.
So
Weird
Juliana's mother
flex, but okay.
was up.
It's a weird flex, but okay.
No, they said education overall, fam.
Yeah, for
Peru
real.
said that too. So basically, her mom was gonna fly out because her mom was working in Lima when Juliana was gonna graduate from high school. Her mother wanted to leave on 19th or 20th of December, but Juliana wanted to attend her graduation and her prom, so she said, let's just leave later on the 22nd.
Right.
So they agreed, and they got a flight out on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Because it's Christmas Eve, there really aren't a lot of flights.
Nah, not at all.
So they get a flight with Lanza, and like the father had warned her, please Maria, don't fly with Lanza. It has a horrible safety record.
Alright.
So the Lanza airplane basically was up there and got caught in a lightning storm.
Oh, boy.
And research after has told us that the pilots were trying to make that Christmas rush, so they just powered into the storm.
Yikes.
Ouch.
So basically, the
No.
storm destroyed the plane. A lightning strike hit the storm, disintegrating it in midair,
Holy
about
shit.
2 miles above ground.
So this was in the 70s though.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
This is
But
like-
still, holy
yeah,
shit.
late 60s, early 70s.
Again,
That's
still,
still
holy
fucking
shit.
awesome.
Yeah, so
That's
Juliana
scary.
still strapped to her seat, survived the fall to earth with a broken collarbone, a gash to her right arm, and her right eye was swollen shut. So,
I don't want to know what you got bit by.
It's same,
but
honestly.
I don't want to know.
Same.
oh yeah,
don't.
so she woke
That's
up and her
nuts.
first priority is find my mom. So she's crawling around and she finds the person who's next to her, or her mom was sitting next to her, but she looks at the person next to her and it's not her mom. So Juliana finds some sweets and candy, and those become her only food. So as she tracks to the jungle, she's rationing off these little pieces of chocolates and candy.
Gotcha.
Smart.
So after looking for her mother and going through passengers where she had to literally pull off people's clothing and be like, I need to see your face because I need to see it through my mom. She eventually decides that she has to keep walking, and she sees a stream and she goes, all right, streams lead to big bodies of water. People are sometimes around big bodies of water, so I'll do that. So she follows a small stream. She wades in knee-high water downstream, and uses the survival guide that her father basically taught her back when she was in Tijuana. So that's why I said this couldn't have been just anyone surviving. The
No,
fact that she had
no,
these
no,
skills allowed
exactly.
her to keep going.
She survived, what, 11 days in the forest?
11
Holy
days.
shit.
So she basically, after 10 days, she finds a boat near a shelter. And so she gets on that boat, and she kind of starts, she didn't want to take the boat because she really didn't want to steal someone's boat. So she gets in the boat.
She had to do to survive.
Yeah, but she ends up not taking the boat and that ends up being really good for her. So inside the boat, she finds gasoline, and she remembers her father telling her about pouring gasoline or strong alcohol or something like that will kill the germs. And at this point, she has maggots growing inside of her arm.
Oh God.
So she pours the gasoline in her arm and it drives all the maggots out. It's super effective.
Ugh.
It's like a water on the fire type. Super effective. So she later recounts the efforts necessary to save her that day. I remember my father curing a dog of worms in the jungle with gasoline, so I got some gasoline and poured it on myself. So she said that she then finds a hut near the boat. And so she's like, there's a hut, there might be people. She waits there and no one comes. She tries to sleep in the bed in the hut, but it's so hard and uncomfortable. She goes back to her past sleeping situation in a couple days, which has been laying on the shore of the bank of a river. Because
It's
everything
soft.
else, basically she's in marshland right now.
Yeah.
So she's like half submerged, but that's softer than laying on some wooden rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
So she slept, so because it was dark though, she moves back to the shelter, and in the morning, a small group of local fishermen discovered her. They brought her to her village. The local day, they fly her back to a hospital, and the day she arrives in the hospital, she sees her father again. So she survives, and after she recovers, she helps parties search to locate the crash site and claim the bodies of victims.
Wow.
She was even saying that when she came across some bodies earlier back in the trip, they had fallen to the ground in such a force that their heads and necks had exploded
Ugh.
and were stuffed into the
Oh
ground,
my God.
slumped over, pointing up. And she had to go through that to see is that my mother's body.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's
but she survived, and I mean, that's what I try to do with Wars of the World. Is that when you got some shit that sucks, at least if someone survives at the end, you feel a little better.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause
But at the same time, just imagine what they're going through. It's like, oh my God.
Horrible shit.
You're saying she survived 11 days. 99% of this world wouldn't survive 11 seconds.
Oof. I know what would have been
She's a survivor. She's not gonna give in.
I would have ate half that bag the first day and been like, but they're gonna rescue me. I need the rest.
And then you're dead.
Yeah. Alright, so
I'd have stolen a boat, bro.
that would,
I
but
would've stolen
because she didn't steal the boat, the dudes were able to. Apparently they were in the forest. So they boated back to the village and came back the next morning when she decided to sleep there. So if she had stolen their boat and boated off to who knows where, she might have never been rescued. So horrors of the world. Alright.
Some Twilight Zone shit.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Chill out.
But
Yeah,
that's where we reached the end of our podcast. Actually, we have hit a feat because I don't need to edit any of this podcast. So, congratulations, guys!
Nice,
You have been
awesome,
the best
nice.
guest I've had on here. Thank you.
Love you guys.
We're
By
gonna
the
do
way-
this again tomorrow.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Actually, I was gonna low-key not tell you guys about it, but I was gonna try and do like a not slideshow, but time lapse of a draft and edit it together and put some shit up.
Yeah, no, I wanna do a fantasy. I want to do another podcast
Got the shit
tomorrow
for it.
in my my
After you,
dad's jersey.
I was
Talk
gonna
about
say,
some more fantasy football.
everyone that wants to jerk off about their lineup can jerk off about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, Tom, where you at?
All the dudes over there. I'll call you our studio audience.
If you guys heard a lot of button matching in the background there, we
Yeah,
were
that-
playing Smash.
They were really.
They were having fun.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys,
Yeah,
that was very low key.
Yeah,
you guys
exactly.
did really well.
I liked it,
Thank you.
yeah.
That was-
I heard y'all. I heard y'all on the mic.
Oh, well, shit happens.
I was gonna say they were like, you're gonna hear some, blah, 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 and I was like, yeah, whatever. And I heard it, and I was like, they go ham.
Of course they're going ham.
They was giving out combo work.
This shit gets serious on Melee.
Of course it
My
does.
bad. All right, so guys, before we finish this podcast, is there anything you want to shout out? You want to throw out to the world? You want to promote? You guys doing something? You guys want to give?
So, actually, my friends and I, we're gonna start up streaming on Apex and Fortnite a little bit.
I tried it and I sucked.
My PSN and Twitch are both Manny M2222, so MANNYM 2222.
Right here.
That's my PSN. I believe my Twitch is the same. I have some other social media, but it's not built for consumers
Okay.
at the moment.
No, it's not.
Not that it's vastly inappropriate, but I do
There's
need to
this
change
and
some
there's
things. Yeah, you know, it's personal. But we're starting that up soon, so I'll send all that information to this guy so he can drop it in the bio.
It's right here. It's in the video right here.
Oh, my bad.
It'll be in both because they can't click on the video, but they can visually see your name too, so it'll be in both.
Oh, yeah,
parts, in
that's
the bio and on
So,
the
I'll send that in.
I'm gonna shout out our boy Don, who just got engaged a couple weeks ago.
Hey,
I'm gonna
shout
give
out
him,
Young Love.
about to say, yeah, I'm gonna give him a personal league shout out tomorrow, right before we start drafting. It's we couldn't be more
The
thrilled.
shout out in person is gonna happen before this drops. So.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Y'all gonna hear about this after he does it.
Yeah.
Y'all just gonna say
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I say tomorrow, meaning tomorrow we are drafting, but y'all hear about this the week after. I gave him a shout out, and he was probably really happy. No, he was really happy. I wanna say
He's
probably.
super happy.
He's awesome.
He hated it.
He was like, nah, fuck you.
Wait till we break down what marriage really means. Like, no.
And follow me on Facebook if you want. Josh Giesecke, Giesecke.
That's awesome.
No one cares about that shit.
That's it. No one cares about
Click the link.
Facebook, but
It is weird,
Click-
though.
that's
Click
it.
the link.
If you're more curious about me, I'll talk to you. Why not? I got nothing else going on.
Yeah, that's facts.
I love that, but all my audience is people that know you.
I know, right?
I should have definitely changed my Instagram handle. Right now it's Ben Jam and SimGod. Not that I'm a
wrong
Ben
with that?
Simmons fan or something.
What's wrong with that?
Huh?
Why would you change it?
I mean, it's just
Just
not
let
in
it
any
go.
way related
Just
to
let
me.
it
I mean, yeah. I was gonna say mine's just Big Cliff Well. That's my name.
That's just-
That's it.
That is always
I am-
confusing. 'Cause I'm like Benjamin. No, it's Emmanuel.
Ben Jam and SimGod. As in BEN, Jammin as in dunks. Sim as in
The first
Simmons.
name, yeah.
But
First
then
name was his last
replacing
name.
ends with God
Okay.
because he's a point God.
Ooh.
A la CP3.
Oh wait, before we end, I've been seeing the. Did you see the video someone posted the other
Loved
day?
it.
Of him
Loved
shooting?
it, loved it, loved it.
Number of problems.
All right, hold on. If you have problems with it, we can talk about it off camera.
Yeah.
No. So
I
this
don't
is
need
actually,
negativity on
Yeah.
camera.
No, this is
No.
actual.
He's
because
not shooting with
remember,
his dominant hand.
remember,
He is, though. He's a lefty.
So this comes from the fact that I actually coach basketball, and so I do coach shooting. I coach the shooting technique. So the only thing that actually worries me with those videos is that he's not hopping into his jump shots.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one video.
the
I saw
one,
you-
two-
It's also pickup basketball though. It's not during an actual NBA.
Here's the
so.
thing.
That is a
You're-
problem.
when
though.
it comes
the
to
video I watched,
when
the
it comes to
first shot
shooting.
was beautiful. It was the
Oh, yeah.
prettiest three was the one he stepped into,
Mhm.
but he didn't step into a single shot after that.
Well, so what it is that the 1-2.
They were doing great all the time.
So the 1-2 isn't. It's not the worst thing, but it's also not the best.
Yeah.
So a hop into your jump shot, even off the dribble, is that both feet come off the ground, land together, on balance, and it gives you the momentum to get up into your shot and in and out of your shot quickly.
Yeah.
So when you 1-2, it takes up more time, and then the elevation process is a little bit slower.
Fair.
So they used to teach the 1-2 way back in the day when you had people also squaring up. So the common method of shooting now, and you'll see it if you look at your favorite basketball players, it's the hop, turn, dip, sweep, and sway. I like to shout out John Alexander of Global Squad, Alexander Basketball Academy,
Okay.
globalsquad.org. He's who taught me this.
Piece of information out there.
He's who taught me this when working with Global Squad. And that allows you to get not only a quicker release, but it helps you get to your shot quicker and allows you to get it off quicker, which is important when you're playing at a high level.
Especially when faster pace NBA's gotten.
Right. So the one thing that concerned me with those videos of Ben Simmons shooting is that he's not hopping it. I like what his form itself looks like. I like the fact that he has the confidence to pull up now, that he's hitting these shots. So that's all very important. But I think if he was hopping into his jump shot a little bit more,
It'd be a
that
little
would
more
make
fluid.
it would make it
Yeah.
more fluid. It would make it quicker, and that would be what would allow him to get it off at an NBA level. But as far as progress is concerned, that's phenomenal progress. That he's just
Absolutely.
taking them now. He's hitting them.
Exactly.
Not only that,
You
at the same time, I feel like once he sees it like actually go through the hoop, whether like when it's not a dunk or a layup, he's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I can make this." I'm just keep
There's
going,
one thing to
keep
do it
going,
in practice,
keep going.
but once he hits it in game, that could be a switch for him.
Well, and so that's the thing for me
That's
is
why I never try and get too hype off practice videos.
because
No, I
it's
got
still
you.
just
It's like
practice.
they're all running like half speed.
No, I got you.
Well, so that it did look like he was going game speed, but again, the 1-2 off the dribble, the 1-2 is not necessarily bad. Like if you're in the middle of a dribble move, you can either do a dribble and then do a foot replacement,
Got it.
or you can like dribble into a 1-2. And so you have two ways of.
There is someone time it is. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, my
So
clock is wrong.
Oh yeah.
so
So I
there's
see
two ways
6,
to do
like
it.
9, I guess, I don't know.
And while the
Sorry.
like dribble move for replacement hop and then getting it off is better. You do a dribble move into a 1-2, as long as it's controlled and it's quick, it's not the worst thing in the world. But again, the hop is a little bit faster.
Okay.
And then if you want to go like Ben Simmons, if he's dribbling and then he hops as if he's going to take a shot, he wants to be able to pivot and pass because he'll probably use that to his advantage to pass out some shots. Knowing him, he's a pass first guy.
Yeah.
Passing ability is off the charts.
Again,
Everyone
maybe
knows that.
season ticket holder, I've seen him pass out so many opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
So when you hop,
frustrating, yes, but at the same time, pass is beautiful.
when you
Like,
hop
yeah.
and land on both feet, it allows you to pivot with either foot.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, that would be something that would also help him because say he goes for that spin fade, if it's a one dribble step back and he hops into it, he can pivot with whichever foot he wants,
gives him a little
which
more
will
balance
create
too.
gives him more balance, but
Mhm.
creates other passing lanes.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
And that's one of the things that you see. So, like, if you actually go back and you look at Kevin Durant, Ray Allen, JJ Redick, Kyle Korver, Reggie Miller, you're looking at these all-time great shooters. A lot of them, which you'll see, even Kyle Korver coming off the screen, you see him plant that one foot, then that foot comes up, he hops, and it's off.
True. Okay.
So that hop,
I
it
never
gives
really
you
thought about it, but I definitely have noticed it.
it gives you speed and balance. And if you go back and you look for it, you'll see it.
Coming to think of every one of those guys, yeah, they have that. They
Yeah.
have that move, even if it's just a dribble handoff move. Like not them dribbling it, obviously, but them taking the handoff and then just getting the shot up.
Yeah.
Every single one of those
That-
guys has done that their entire career.
The hop, it supports momentum for both the body and the ball. It gives you that a bit more of a quick twitch second jump. So that hop allows you to really get up. And that's one of the things that I think would definitely help Ben shooting. Obviously, baby
I was
steps.
gonna say
Yeah.
the way you broke it down, I definitely agree.
Now I can think of that. Like I can actually remember so many times I've seen Kyle Korver do that when he was young and when he was with the Sixers. I'm like, wow, that actually makes so much more sense. Obviously, we were all young and I didn't really understand the ins and outs of basketball at that age. But like now it's like, holy shit, I'm actually starting.
Well, I
to
mean,
get it.
even when I started working, when I first started working Global Squad, it was kind of a game changer to see it in practice, and it's really weird. So when I was younger, when I would shoot jump shots, I'd jump from one spot and I would land forward in front of where I am, which is the sweep and sway.
Yeah.
My brother asked me why I did it. Well, I wasn't necessarily a Spurs fan growing up, but I paid a lot of attention to Spurs. Loved Tony Parker, loved Manu Ginobili, loved Tim Duncan. And I told him one day while we were playing pickup, and I did it. And he was like, "Yo, why are you doing that?" I told him literally because Manu Ginobili does it. And fast forward to when Global Squad started, in his first year with Global Squad, they were still doing the square up, but a few years later, John switches over to the hop, turn, dip, sweep, and sway. And my first year working Global Squad, I saw it, and I looked at my brother and was like, remember that one day playing pickup when I told you I did it because Manu Ginobili did it? And I was like, 8, 10, however many years later it was like I was fucking right.
Yeah, right.
There it is.
That's a nice note to end on. All right, guys. Next time I see you guys, I'll have some crazy stories from my 52-hour work week. But until then, my name's Cliff.
I'm Josh.
You want to hear about my recent 52 work week?
Off camera. We have now hit the time where I don't like to go past.
I'm Manny. It was great joining you guys.
Thanks
Yeah,
I
definitely.
love having you
About to
guys.
say thanks, Cliff. So
And
much
this
fun
has
being
been
on here.
Higher Education's podcast.
Follow him.
I also just noticed this painting behind us, and I'm really glad that's in the background.
It
is-
That's
it's
dope
some
painting.
It's
Fire.
phenomenal. Like, shout out to your parents.
Also,
Yeah,
like,
shut up.
have you guys seen the movie Higher Education? This doesn't necessarily need to be on camera, but just
No.
the name of the podcast. Movie
Oh
Higher
god, I gotta
Education
pee
is
really
phenomenal.
badly.